This is something I really wish I did not have to say, but we have just lost a Kentucky Derby contender. Wild on Ice, originally slated to run in the Kentucky Derby after winning the Sunland Derby, has been euthanized after a injury sustained during a workout. This is unbelievably tragic, and I am truly sorry to the connections of this great horse. I was really looking forward to seeing him run, and I was rooting for him all the way. While I didn't think he had the greatest chances to win the Kentucky Derby, I love an underdog, and I love horses like him. So it crushes me that this happened. And I send my deepest condolences to the connections of this horse. And with that, we now have Skinner in the Kentucky Derby starting gate. And of course, that means I gotta review their horse. Another day, another Derby profile. Today's episode is going to be on Skinner. Let's go. First things first, we got the stats, and these could have looked a little bit better. 6 starts, 1 first, 0 seconds, and 3 thirds, and earnings of $216,300. For major races, it's a lot of California stuff. He started out with a 3rd in the Del Mar Futurity, a 6th in the American Pharoah Stakes, a 3rd in the San Felipe, and most recently, a 3rd in the Santa Anita Derby. For highest speed figure, it's very impressive considering the 3rd place finishes he has done in most of his races. A 99, just like Verifying, even though he was 1 place below. So, while his defeats may be a little concerning to some, speed-wise, he's just as fast as the top horses in here. For running style, this also is pretty nice to see. He is a complete dead closer. He's always right at the back, and then he makes a good flying move. Now, in some of his races, it feels like he just picks up the scraps and is pretty well beaten by better horses, but in his most recent start, he was able to get right into the thick of it, being slightly closer to the pace and flying right behind the eventual winner Practical Move and the Japanese Invader Mandarin Hero. So, he might be perfecting his little closing move. For strengths, he's got 3. The first one is the fact that he has been able to close off of paces both considered fast and slow, which is going to be very desirable in a slower Kentucky Derby, meaning that it's not going to be game over for him if there's not a lot of speed up front. He'll still have the ability to fly forward and potentially pick off some horses. Also, the Santa Anita Derby, his most recent race, was by far his best, so it's nice to see that he has only improved after being a bit wishy-washy as a 2-year-old. And, last of all, he is technically a faster closer than some of the best horses in this Derby. By speed figures alone, he is a faster come-from-behind horse than horses such as Mage, Raise Cane, and most impressively of all, Angel of Empire. But that's only from a technical perspective. There are a lot of things that he has yet to do. For one, he always has to go to the outside, so he might lose some ground, but that's honestly a nitpick compared to the big thing about him, which is the fact that he has never raced outside of California, and the competition he has ran against has been rather weak. Practical Move already had to deal with this himself, however, he came out a winner. Skinner struggled behind 2 better horses, Mandarin Hero and the aforementioned Practical Move, and he couldn't even beat those guys. And also, in races like the San Felipe Stakes, he was pretty well beat, just picking up the pieces while Practical Move and Go Rocket Ride were way ahead. So, not being the best California horse in a weak California crop dominated by a much better horse in Practical Move is not a good sign, and he's going to have to deal with a significant jump in competition when it comes to Derby Day. Overall, Skinner is, on paper, a very fast come-from-behind horse who could fly late and do something. However, when you look into his races, there is going to be a lot that he's going to have to prove, especially when he is a B-caliber California horse. So for that, I give Skinner a C+ grade. And that wraps up today's episode. I will see you guys next time.